Hey there, it's Kat with Taming the Tangle, and guess what I got here? This is the Midsummer Survival Kit for 2020. Weighs in just under 3 pounds, so it's a pretty hefty box of goodies. And I am going to unbox it with you. I want you to open yours first by yourself so you get to experience opening everything. But if you have questions about things, I'm going to walk through a few things that are in the box. So voila, here it is. I will let you read this thing, but there are some prompts here just to cultivate the idea that summer is a rest season. And that's something I'm getting into directly in the Recalibrate Summer Recharge class. But there are some prompts here that you can drop into it for yourself of how you can bring restfulness, even in our culture where some of us are required to work and show up a certain way every day. And you have many different roles, but can rest be something that you bring to your life? So definitely drop into that. And that's what some of these products are geared towards, as well as some specific things happening in 2020. So very much so. The first thing that you see aside from that is this little sticker that says, unleash your magic. And what would you do if you unleashed your magic? That thing that makes you very uniquely and specifically you. This is an invitation for you to be ever more yourself and to bring that fullness to the world. We can handle it and we want it. We invite it. And that's what makes you truly special. And it's what you're brought here to do. And it's not as a pressure, it's just more as an invitation to just, yes, do that thing, be more yourself, let all of the combinations of who you are really shine. So when you get into the box, there's all types of different goodies. The very first thing sitting on top is a cedar bundle. I live in a place called Cedar Ridge. Cedar is extremely abundant. This is harvested off of my property. So it's wild harvested. I make these bundles, I call them grandfather bundles. There is a little sheet that comes with it. There's some turquoise on it. The sheet will tell you a bit more about it, but one thing that you should know with the cedar bundles is if you want to burn it, which is generally what it's intended for, it does need to be dried. So these have been freshly harvested, and they smell delicious. You might smell it when you open the box as well, but there's some other scented goodies in there. So let it sit someplace where it can dry. And then once it's dried, you can either break little pieces off and set them on charcoal. You can literally light the whole end of this thing, but have like a plate or something available because it could really burn up very, very quickly. Some of the pieces in this box, some of the items in here, are geared specifically towards energy clearing. And we can do energy clearing in all different kinds of ways. So I invite you to explore that of how can you reset your energy and kind of process and let go of some of the emotions that come up, or when you're transitioning from one thing to another. That's an opportunity to kind of let go of what you're leaving, whether it's something typical like coming home from work. So let go of work, have that transition time between coming home and then go freshly into home. I sometimes do that meditatively or just going like release, 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 and letting go of some of those stories, but letting go of that stuff that we carry with us, not just the stories, but there are energetic things. So something like a smudge bundle like this that's made with, I use cedar because it is abundant, it regrows rapidly, it is something that is readily available where I live. So rather than like sage or Palo Santo, where we're really taxing our planet with some of the uses of that, and that they're having to be shipped to where we live and maybe not natural to what our history is. So just tune into that. Many things can be burned. I make some other bundles with cinnamon and rosemary. There's all types of things, lavender. So tune into that and know that it can be used as a cleansing for you. You work with the smoke. So when you're burning it, you can literally move the bundle around you if that feels safe. I generally like to have it in some sort of dish or bowl and then wave the smoke over me and have an intention of what you're doing, that you're releasing the energy from work, or you're releasing some heavy emotions, or releasing something from the past. Anything that you are just needing to clear your energetic and emotional body, your spiritual body, anything that you feel like needs a little extra support in that releasing, it can be really nice to ritualize that whole process. And this is one tool that you can use for that. You can also use it in the same type of way, but use it on spaces. So sometimes, you know, especially in this time of 2020 where we want our spaces to feel sacred. Maybe you have somebody over and then you go, oh, that didn't feel as comfortable as I wanted it to feel because we're in the middle of a pandemic. You might need to do your cleaning, like just know that cleaning and sanitizing, that is a form of energy resetting, but you can also do it with smoke, you know, so the smoke obviously is more for that energetic vibe, not the actual sanitizing of surfaces. You know, so let the two of those work together and just know if you feel like you ever need to reset it. And it doesn't always have to be clearing a negative energy. It can just be going, you know, it's Sunday is going to be my more restful day where I'm working on inspiration and just relaxing and kind of moving at a different pace. You can also use, you know, work with something like cedar or some type of incense or smudge of just helping to set that tone of like, I am transitioning and moving this space into a different energetic. If smoke isn't your thing, and, you know, if you have any allergies or you don't like the smell of it, whatever it is, know that you can also put this bundle on an altar and work with it energetically. That way you can hold it for meditation. You can, once it's dried, you can break pieces off of it and use it like as a something on a threshold, like doorway. Work with it around the house on the outside, or, you know, feel free to get creative with how to work with it. And if it's super dry and feeling done for you or whatever, you can bury it, compost it, release it in whatever way. You don't feel like you have to hang on to it till the very, very final little nubbin. If you love the energy of turquoise, very nice, beautiful grounding energy, feel free to cut that off. It's just wrapped on with steel wire, and you could add that to some sort of little dish of crystals you have or whatever works for you. There's a little bonus sticker in here that connects you to the moon phases and love of the moon. And then we get into some bigger goodies that are wrapped up in here for shipping. There's several glass jars, and I am working on finding packaging that isn't all plastic, but for right now, this is all recycled packaging of herbs and things that were mailed to me. The first thing that I'm pulling out is this beautiful bottle of tea, Hammock Refresher. This is a tea blend that I blended. It is caffeine free, it's all herbal. And this is to help you kind of cool off and invite that sense of restfulness. Sometimes you can just do that in your day by having something to sip on if you do it mindfully and with an intention. There's several different types of herbs in here. I'm not a doctor. None of this has been FDA approved or anything like that. But there's, you know, the main ingredient is hibiscus flower. So you get this stunning, like deep rosy red color and a nice tart flavor. And there's several things like lemongrass and lemon peel that just enhance that sort of tart, citrusy sort of vibe to it, lemon balm even. But then there's some other herbs like St. John's wort that is just like mood lifting, and a little bit of like rose petals and marshmallow that help you open to receiving and kind of take in some hydration. It's just, I found it to be a very delicious blend. It's really good steeped hot, or you can do a sun tea infusion and then ice it. I just, you know, did a big mason jar, put it in the fridge, and then sipped it from there. Can mix a little bit of sparkling water into it if you want more of a spritzer feel. If you really like that tart lemony feel, let it steep a lot longer. And then also feel free to throw in a wedge of fresh lemon, like squeeze it in there and then have the little piece in there. Really brings out that aspect of it. So enjoy. I hope it serves you well and just is a little, I mean, if you have a time that you can actually like lay in a hammock and sip a cup of iced tea, do it. If not, let this be like a little mental break that takes you there. You know, we can use our minds a lot for this. There's been so many studies done about that, that if you just take a mental break and really truly imagine yourself someplace for a moment, it does help to reset the nervous system with breathing and all of that type of feeling, that our nervous system can reset without, you know, actually doing the thing. So give yourself permission to even do a mental pause and see if that does give you some recharge and a sense of restfulness throughout the day. I am going to pull out a little thing now. So tucked in there is also this little pouch that has a tea light spell in it. There's also a piece of paper. The name of this is Alchemy. So one of the things that I go into in the class that I'm not going to go into deeply here, but the thing that's interesting with summer is, you know, I mean, it's interesting with life, with ourselves as people, everything, is that there's a mixture of energetics. So we have this strong energetic of the sun, very masculine energy, but then the idea that summer is the season of rest and recharge, and that is very feminine energetics that are just much more receptive. So mixing together that, like, what can you receive that life force from different sources? Doesn't have to be directly from the sun, because the sun can be very intense in the summer, but where can you find those places of intense energy potentially, or that infusion of inspiration, or that sense of warmth and life-giving vitality that supports you, and you open to receiving them. It doesn't matter if it's male, female. I'm just talking about energetics of being masculine, feminine, just the notions of that. If you've ever studied a foreign language, that comes up more in other languages than it does in the US. So that is what the alchemy is with this candle. What I suggest doing is to consider some sort of goal or dream that you are potentially like even working towards that idea. And how can you kind of do a little mental reframe on that and call it in, you know? So you want to do an aspect of, you know, stating it where you're calling this in, but then what the candle also helps you do is open to receiving it and to let go of expectations as much as possible. So this isn't going like, I want to get this exact specific car, this exact specific job, sort of going, oh, what is the underlying thing that I'm looking for? I mean, maybe if it's a car, it's looking for freedom or autonomy of movement, just that sense of independence. If it's a job, maybe it is more that feeling of confidence, being of value, being appreciated, contributing to something that's larger than yourself and being a part of the world in that way. So when you call in something that's framed in that type of language that feels a little bit more vague, then you get to do the work of opening and to receive it however the universe wants to deliver it to you. And what this candle also does with the different mixture of herbs and oils and crystals is to help you to recognize it when it arrives. And so there's a little paper in here that just talks about that. With this idea of the blending of energetics, it's anytime you're calling something in, it's wonderful to work with the waxing moon as we're leading up to the full moon. But when you're wanting a little bit more balance of energetics, like I'm calling in and I'm also opening to receiving, try to do it on a quarter moon where, you know, it's a waxing quarter. So it's half and half. It's half light, half dark, but it's heading towards the full moon. You can do it at other times too. I'm just saying if you want a little bit more potent energetics than what I've instilled in this candle, that's another way to do it, to tune in for yourself in that way. So enjoy. And I do recommend burning the candle all in one shot. So just do it and then burn the candle and release it. Put the candle on something fairly safe, like a big plate or something, because there are herbs and oils on it. And so those things can, like, sometimes, you know, depending on the potency of those things or your intentions, like, we just never know. So you just want it to feel safe because it's probably going to burn like 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, enjoy doing that and dropping into a little deeper level for yourself. In the middle of the box is this large pouch of one of my signature striptease soaking salts. This, oh my gosh, I can smell it. Smells amazing, actually. So this is a blend of bath salts made with Epsom salts. And this particular blend, and look, it says, "You are so beautiful." I hope you know that. I hope you hear that every day, whether from yourself or someone else, and that you have a moment to really take that in and believe it, and to see and feel the beauty of person that you are. And this blend specifically, a la Gemini, has a piece of paper with it. This one is called The Beauty Way. And so this is just a lovely blend of different flowers and some herbs and oils. And you can use this in several different ways. If you want to just use it at full strength, feel free. This is a tea bag, you know, so you can use it as a bath tea. Put the mixture in here if you want to keep your tub clean, and just either let it soak in the tub or put it under the faucet so the water can run through it, whatever it is. But it's nice to not have to clean up all of the residual herbs and flowers after the tub, but you feel free to dump it in if that sort of stuff doesn't bother you in any way. So this walks you through some just things to drop into, you know, the idea of opening to beauty, allowing things to come to you, you know, that idea of opening to receiving. And if you don't have a bathtub, go ahead and blend it and do it as a foot soak. You can blend it in a basin and do a little sponge bath if you like the smell of it and everything, and soak your feet for a good long while and just kind of be with that and let that draw up. There's a couple little added options here for a little mind practice, for deeper reflection. You can do it with the full moon energetic, or if you want more releasing of other things that are keeping you from receiving, you can do it with new moon energetic and that waning moon sort of energy. So this walks you through all of that. One thing I wanted to let you know is I actually personally like to have these bags last a little bit longer than just one soaking. I usually have it last 4 baths, and I do have a bathtub, so I put in a bunch of plain Epsom salts. And by a bunch, I mean like 1 to 2 cups. I put in quite a bit because I also use it as a therapeutic muscle soak to really get a lot of that magnesium in the body. Magnesium is something that helps with rest and sleep. It doesn't necessarily make you tired, but it works, you know, it's one of those micronutrients that works with our muscles and our nervous system in a kind of deep way. If you have an opportunity to soak for 20 to 30 minutes, like really just take that in. It is summertime, so I know the inclination may not be to have a really hot bath, and that is okay too. You might want to run some hot water, get everything to dissolve, and then cool it down a little bit, but it still can be beautiful. With this one, since there are essential oils in here and a little bit of olive oil to help distribute them throughout, I would use it in the next 6 months for sure. You don't want the oils to go rancid. I don't think the essential oils would, but the organic olive oil could. So enjoy dropping in with that one. And if the scent is a little strong for you, that's another reason why you can mix it in with Epsom salts. There's an option too, if you're working with the waxing moon or more releasing type energetics, put in a bunch of baking soda in your tub too. That helps to have a little bit more of that releasing energy. So let's see, there is another little treat in this little box. There is a beautiful crystal. Let me see, it is called Glace Calcite. I'm gonna get out some scissors and literally open up this box that I have tied with all kinds of string because I just love doing little beautiful packaging. I hope that you appreciate it all. And so in here is this gorgeous green stone, milky, just lovely. It's literally very, very, very soft, which is really nice. You can work with this stone in a lot of different ways. I picked this stone specifically because of all of the different complex energetics going on in 2020. It has beautiful stress relieving properties. And like I said, it's just very soothing and soft to work with it. I talk about the little properties here. It also, on the piece of paper included, it does help you tap into some other things for recharging. It's not just about releasing stress, but, you know, bringing in more of that vital energy. So kind of letting go of the drains and then welcoming in those things that fill you up. It can just be a very soothing stone. So you can find a way to carry it close to you, like whether you tuck it in your bra, put it in a pocket. You know, you can have it obviously like in a pocketbook or anything like that. Sometimes I work with crystals right by my place setting, so that at breakfast and at dinner, the crystal is there and I just pull it a little bit closer to me when I'm actively working with it. Another lovely place to have a crystal like this is on your bedside table. I don't know if you're a meditator or you have any like morning or nighttime things that you do, feel free to hold this with meditation. Maybe at night you like to read like I do, and you can literally just hold this in your hand or set it on your chest, or, you know, just get creative with it, but connect with this energy and be somewhat intentional with it. Like see what it works with, what it kind of awakens in you. Do you feel lighter with it, or does it just kind of calm you down? Do you like the colors that make you feel happy, whatever? But just, you know, you don't have to go with like the energetics that I've told you about. See what it taps into with you, and then when you're connecting with it, just recall that, go, oh yeah, this reminds me of this, and just take a moment with it. You can also put it on an altar if you work with altars. It would work well next to candles, incense, whatever. You know, sometimes I put things in my windowsill where by my kitchen sink where I have a beautiful window. I try not to let them all pile up there because I do like to work with things intentionally. And at a certain point when it's totally left my consciousness, I figure, okay, my work with it must be done. And so the next time I'm cleaning up, I will just put it in storage. I'll thank it, you know, put it in storage for the next time that energy is really feeling like it's time to work with again, and then I'll bring it back out. So there are some ideas for you with this beautiful crystal. And then last but not least is this jar that is connected to Recalibrate from the ground up. And these are clearing sprinkles. There's this beautiful bay leaf on the outside, and it's wrapped with 3 little pieces of fluorite. So just to add some extra charging to this blend that's inside. This blend, the basis of it is baking soda. There are several herbs and essential oils as well as crystal powders in here. And as I mentioned, you know, this one is specifically calling in the energy of recalibration to kind of bring you back to you. This can be used in a traditional sense, just like a carpet sprinkle. If you've ever worked with those, they're actually really kind of fun. I used to love them as a kid, even when in the 80s, there was a lot more carpeting, but I do have some throw rugs now. So what you can do is sprinkle it on the rug and then let it sit a while, 10 to 30 minutes. And just imagine it soaking up the energy that's there, and it will also soak up the dirt, but just do like a nice dusting over the whole surface. And then after you've had the pause of time, then vacuum it up. And when you're vacuuming up, same as what I was talking about with the smoke, just imagine it resetting the energy of what it's taking away, but also what it's adding. This one is a dual purpose blend as well. So it helps to add that sense of kind of some of the green calcite energy, although it's not specifically green calcite in here, but it's helping you come back to you. It's bringing a lot more of that grounding energy, that sense of focus and clarity to kind of calm down some of the scattered anxious energy that's happening in 2020. And there is a bit of grounding stuff in there, as well as a little bit of energizing to help recharge. Now, if you don't have any carpets, or if that sort of practice doesn't appeal to you, this can just be used as an energetic sprinkle. So kind of like what I talked about with the cedar bundle, if you wanted to break off pieces and sprinkle it around your house, you can do that with this. You can put it under doormats to sort of welcome in that energy and clear the energy of anything that's passing over that doormat. And you can make a practice of it where you do it a little bit every day, or every time you go to your office, you're doing it. You can sprinkle it across the doorway. And I'm genuinely imagining that that would be happening outside, where you wouldn't be seeing it or tracking it through the space, like kind of work with it energetically and tuck it away. Of course, you can use it on a floor and then sweep it up, or, you know, like I said, across the threshold and then sweep it up at the end of the day or something like that. But play around with it. The final idea for this one is you can put it in your bath. So the oils and crystals are safe. I blended it so that you could literally mix it with the Beauty Way soaking salts. Remember, it's baking soda, so it is best for kind of a releasing type of energy, the baking soda itself. But because it's such a good mixture, and if you mixed it with the Beauty Way, you could be doing both. Like, here are the things that I'm releasing, and here are the things that I'm welcoming in for when there's space for those. So sort of like, I'm making space for these things I'm calling in, help me release the things that are blocking those. So have fun playing with this one. If you have any other questions about it, just let me know. Drop a line down below. But I love working with this stuff. One of my favorite things is to make a ritual out of it at my studio. Is I put things under my doormat. I did that when I had a store as well, of like different sprinkles of like, what are the energetics I'm calling into my studio today, and marking that point in time of transition of, I am fully here and this is what I am here to do. And here's a very simple ritual that's helping to remind me of that time has changed. I am no longer tuning into laundry or dishes or whatever the mundane things are that I do in my home life that are still dearly precious to me. But when I am here in my studio, I'm here to serve. I'm here to consider you. I'm calling in sacred arts and how to translate that to the world. I'm here to write, all different types of things. And so having a practice with something like this can really help. To just signify not only to myself, but also to my muse and to the universe, like, yes, this is the role that I am dropping into right now. So I hope that you enjoy your Midsummer Survival Kit. And like I said, if any other questions come up, just drop me a line below, and I'd love to know if you're enjoying the pieces. So let me know that as well. You can always find me over at my website, tamingthetangle.com, or shoot me an email at kat@tamingthetangle.com. Have a great day and stay cool and rest and recharge as much as you can this season and during this year of 2020. Ciao.